LDBC. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Boxing and MMA Show Live. Okay, folks. I'm going to try to break down this picture as much as I can, and look. I know all this on the screen looks confusing, but I'm going to break all of this down, and that's just the way that is. This video is brought to you by Randamie's Boxing Talk. I am on record being his first ever subscriber. Please go subscribe to that channel today. That's Randamie's Boxing Talk. And I'm also going to respond to a question that Randamie asked. And he asked, do I think Germaine de Randamie? It seemed like that Germaine de Randamie was a little hesitant about talking about a Chris Cyborg fight. I'm going to be honest with y'all. And Randamie and then a couple other people. Matter of fact, let's just talk real quick. The amount of disrespect that Germaine de Randamie been getting. I mean, just seeing some of the names that people are calling this woman. Some people calling this woman a man. Some people have done called her an ape. Some people done called her just, all kind of stuff. She probably on steroids. She just did this. She's a cheater. She's this. She's that. I mean, I've seen so many comments about Germaine de Randamie that's just sickening. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to keep this video in perspective, okay? Actually, the losers in this fight is not just Holly Holm. It's Germaine de Randamie, Chris Cyborg, and Holly Holm. They lose in this whole deal. But the real winner that's sitting here is Dana White. See, all of this 145-pound division, people will say, well, he created that for Chris Cyborg. No, not really, okay? I believe that Dana White created this 145-pound division for the destruction of Holly Holm. See, this has always been about Holly Holm. And Dana White has been very butthurt ever since Holly Holm knocked out Ronda Rousey. See, Holly Holm done cost Dana White a whole lot of money. That was his cash cow, folks. Folks, I'm just saying that's just the way that is. That was his cash cow. And with his cash cow being put out of commission, it's costly. So now Dana White and the UFC, they want to recoup some money. See, the destruction of Holly Holm was imminent. And I told y'all in video after video after video, I kept trying to tell y'all that this is the game plan of Dana White, is to destroy this woman called Holly Holm. And let me tell you something. He's done a darn good job of trying to destroy Holly Holm. Now, I want to go ahead and rebuttal, and I want to debunk the notion that Germaine de Randamie was afraid to fight Chris Cyborg, okay? And this is not a diss towards Holly Holm. These are facts, okay? Well, first of all, okay, Chris Cyborg was offered to fight. She was offered to fight Holly Holm. That's a fact. Chris Cyborg turned down the fight because she again stated that her doctor indicated to her that it was not in her best interest to take a fight before March. Because, going in a training camp and then trying to do weight cuts so close, dangerously close to her time being in the hospital, her doctor told her that it was not permissible. And people were saying, well, Chris Cyborg was doing all kind of stuff, and she's supposed to be recovering. The doctor never said recover. Chris Cyborg was supposed to get her weight up. She was supposed to do regular exercise. That's what the doctor told her, okay? They told her to do regular exercise. They told her, she's not supposed to be having weight cuts. So Chris Cyborg had to wait a period of 3 to 4 months before she can even begin training for another fight because you have to cut weight. The weight cuts are dangerous, and Cyborg almost died, okay? Folks, that's just how that is. That's just the way that is. She almost died. So Cyborg turned down the fight against Holly Holm. Now, Dana White, they already knew that Chris Cyborg, they already knew it. And I'm going to tell you why this is a destruction, okay? First of all, let's think about it. Y'all see all the people that could have been offered this fight. He immediately wanted to put Holly in there with Chris Cyborg, okay? He immediately wanted to put Holly Holm in there with Chris Cyborg, and I think that's still his plan. But, Dana White knew that Chris Cyborg physically, he knew physically that she couldn't do it. And then, he's so arrogant that he probably just saying to himself, look, she just need to get in that fight anyway because she still would wreck Holly Holm. See, Dana White was really pushing this whole Chris Cyborg issue. Even though he knew that Chris Cyborg couldn't even make the weight. He knew. He knew Chris Cyborg physically couldn't do it. Oh, she could have made the weight. But she physically could not take this fight. But in his mind, he was trying to pressure Team Cyborg to go ahead and take the fight anyway. Okay? Because he wanted. This has been about Holly Holm. I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay? Now, Chris Cyborg turned down the fight. So, what does Dana White do? And matter of fact, Holly Holm said, listen, there has to be a lot that happens before fighting Cyborg. This is a fact. Okay, I got this article off MMA Weekly. This is a fact. Mike Winkeljohn, no, he was not going to let Holly Holm fight Cyborg. Even if Cyborg said yes to this fight, I can guarantee you that Mike Winkeljohn, he would have let Holly Holm sit on the shelf for 6 months. Because that's the going thing. That's what they do in the UFC. If you refuse a fight, they can shelve you for 6 months. And I think Mike Winkeljohn would have taken that risk versus having his star pupil and somebody he cares about deeply to go in there and be put on the wall of destruction. Okay? Trust me, it was inevitable. Holly Holm was going to be on that wall of destruction. Okay? So let's break stuff down. So now to completely debunk the notion that Germaine de Randamie is afraid of Chris Cyborg, Dana White then in turn offered the fight to Germaine de Randamie. Germaine de Randamie was all for the fight, and she was willing to take the fight to win that title. See, Germaine de Randamie was the second option, and okay, she wanted to fight with Chris Cyborg. Well, Chris Cyborg and Germaine came out and said Chris got the offer to fight Holly, Chris got the offer to fight me, and she wasn't able to. And shout out to Germaine de Randamie, because Germaine de Randamie knows the story. Okay, she knows the story about what happened in the weight cuts. She knew, and she knew that Chris Cyborg couldn't even take the fights anyway. So Germaine recognized, okay, well listen, no, she can't fight me anyway. So okay, so now what? Now what? Okay, so now the game plan had to shift because Cyborg was out. So now Dana White got in that little ingenious bald head of his. He was like, hey, let's just put her in there with Germaine de Randamie. Makes perfect sense. So now we couldn't get the first option, Cyborg. See, let's get it straight. This was about Holly Holm. He wanted to get Holly Holm beat the hell up by Chris Cyborg. That didn't work, so who did he pick next? Well, heck, Germaine de Randamie. And you think about it, too. Yeah, he got the most dangerous striker. One of the most dangerous strikers and one of the most skilled strikers to go in against Holly Holm. Why? To get beat up. See, here's the thing. Germaine de Randamie did her job. She's going to be a sacrificial lamb. She did her job. She completely did her job. And, you know, you kind of have to wonder, too. You have to wonder. I thought Germaine de Randamie deserved a point deduction. But you have to wonder. Why? Why she didn't get a point deduction? And why would they put a fairly new referee into this fight? Now, I'm not taking away from Germaine's victory. I still had Germaine winning the fight even with the point deduction. Okay, I did. But I find that kind of strange. Why would they put this referee, this brand new referee, in a championship fight? Brand new. And then why wouldn't this referee deduct a point? And that elbow was blatant. Okay, it was right there in your face. You know what the plan was for Dana White? It was for Holly Holm to take a lot of damage. Here's my opinion. I think that Dana White is going to book the match. Okay, him and Sean Shelby, they're going to book this match. And I think Chris Cyborg is going to fight Germaine de Randamie. I think the winner is going to get a shot at Holly Holm. I think Dana White knows that Chris Cyborg will beat Germaine de Randamie. And folks, don't be surprised if Holly Holm gets that shot at Chris Cyborg. Dana White is going to do everything he can to make sure that Holly Holm gets in that octagon with Chris Cyborg. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's been this man planned for months to put her in that octagon. Folks, don't be surprised. I'm telling y'all, Dana White has had it out for Holly Holm for a long time. It all makes perfect sense. You know, now it's becoming to come crystal clear. Okay, you put her in there with definitely one of the most brutal strikers in mixed martial arts, in kickboxing, in Muay Thai, period. Germaine de Randamie got one-punch knockout power. Then you put her in the octagon with a novice referee. This referee didn't take a point deduction. I wonder why. I'm not saying that Holly Holm won the fight, but I do think the job of Germaine de Randamie was to go in there and give Holly Holm a beating. Like, I really believe it. And I think Germaine probably just innocent. You know, she thinking, you know what, I'm going in here and I'm fighting for a title. I think Germaine Randamie very innocent in this whole thing. And I think Germaine Randamie got caught in the heat of the moment. Okay, and it was right there. The elbow was right in your face. I mean, she did it. She didn't deny that she hit Holly Holm late. She admitted it. And then she did it twice. But there was no point deduction. These things were allowed. And the elbow definitely rocked Holly Holm. And Holly Holm, look at her face. She took a lot of punishment. This is by no means taking anything from Germaine Randamie. She won the fight. In my eyes, Germaine Randamie won this fight. And I thought Germaine Randamie actually beat Holly Holm decisively. I thought she beat her decisively. That's what I thought. With the exception of the leg kick that hit Germaine and knocked Germaine down, and the left hand that knocked Germaine down, I thought Germaine Randamie won this fight 3 rounds to 2. Okay, I thought it was 3-2. But there are no winners here. See, Holly Holm don't win. Germaine Randamie definitely don't win. She's going to be the sacrifice. Okay? And though I think that Germaine Randamie will hold her own and do a good job against Cris Cyborg, there's no winner. But the biggest loser here, not because she lost the fight, is Holly Holm. Mark my words. And you, when Coach Stradamus now, I'm in Coach Stradamus mode, when Coach Stradamus tell you that something about to happen, it's going to happen. And you mark my words, today is February 12th. I guarantee you that they're going to get Holly Holm in the octagon with Cris Cyborg. And that's going to be the last fight that Holly Holm ever takes. Because Cris Cyborg is going to end Holly Holm. And my friends, that's just the way that is. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe.